money laundering, God. Hello, and welcome back to part two of this discussion in relation to rush hour. Uh, God will have you in a scenario where you are dealing with laundering of money. Now, the minister, she said, how do you launder money for God? I'll tell you exactly how you do it. You clean it by taking whatever was done to it and then you give it back to the Lord to clean. Meaning, you sow it back into a church. You sow it wherever it needs to be. Because when you sow your 10%, your 20 or 30% back into the church off of the money that was given, you are giving to God. It's not the church, it's God, in order for Him to clean it for what it is that's necessary for it to be done. So God is made position you to have money put into your hands that under certain circumstances a very religious Christian may look at that money and say, oh my God, that money is not of God for you to have that. And God's putting that very money, the wealth of the wicked ends up in the hands of the just, for you to put it into the kingdom. One, through sowing. Two, through the activation and the putting through into assignments of God. That's how He's laundering the money. He's cleaning it by operating and putting it in places that it is going to be cleansed. Okay? Now, as we know, a bunch of scenarios occur. Getting back to the relationship between him and Jackie Chan, you have to operate strategically. And you got a dang spouse. That's number one. When they got there, they were dressed in a certain attire. He said, no, we can't go into this place dressed like this. Your got a dang spouse is going to have the ability to know you can't walk in to certain places dressed any kind of way. Even if to you it looks like it's all right. He's like, no, that place, you got to upgrade your garments. How many people have been hearing upgrade? You got to upgrade your clothes. You got to upgrade your clothes. You got to upgrade your garments. You got to upgrade. It's time for an upgrade. It's time for God is establishing. So He's changing your garments, new season, new garments. It's for your marriage, for where God's taking you. Your clothes got to change. So they had to change clothes in order for them to fit in with the people at the casino. Now, Las Vegas is a couple of things. A lot of y'all waiting on your goddamn kingdom marriage. Some of y'all gonna get married in Vegas. I'm just telling you, it keeps coming up. Sorry. If you didn't know, now you know. If the Lord's been speaking Vegas to you, you know if the Lord's been speaking Vegas to you. Okay. Moving on. They went to the casino. There were a few scenarios. Your God-ordained spouse, and it may even be you, that may come into, as these things are transpiring, your own personal familial things may begin to unravel, meaning you may find out certain things. For me, I am adopted, so there may be certain things that upon your search with your spouse, you may find out, and things may be revealed about your past that you didn't know nothing about. And your enemies might try to use that against you. This is what was happening in this film. So you may have to come to terms with certain things, and your spouse is going to be able to be there for you during these scenarios. On the flip side of that, there are going to be people that are going to be witnesses that are going to assist you walking through these situations to get you to the other side of what it is that was the main goal of what y'all came there to do in the first place. That as these things are being revealed, you're not going to flip out. That being said, let's move into the third film. The third film, times pass. There may come a point, for some of y'all, you're in that. God separated you from your God ordained spouse, and you haven't had contact with them for a period of time. In the third film, they had not been associated with each other for a while. Okay. At the end of the second film, they were reassociated with each other, meaning after all that had happened, they ended up getting some of the money from the casino. Your God ordained spouse knows how to get things that you may not be, you as a Christian may not feel is in alignment for you to be putting your hands to. But he's got a way with people that to you it may seem, oh my God, this is not righteously right. And like I told you in the previous, I think it was End of the Road, when the brother got hold of the money at the end of the film, he still ended up getting hold of some of that money. There are moments when God will still allow, after the cleansing process, that you get your hands on the financial blessing. You may not, if you allow yourself to be too religious, you may not understand that God's transferring the wealth to you from wicked places. So they ended up going and taking a vacation and coming back into alignment and agreement at the end of the film for what they were initially supposed to do at the beginning of the film. Now, on to the third film. They hadn't seen each other. Some of you have been separated from your spouse for a series of years. Some of you, God has allowed you to know who your spouse was. You've been standing for this marriage for 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. I know I've been out of a relationship for 10 years. I have not been standing for the marriage for my God ordained spouse for maybe about 7. But he had to heal me from the counterfeit relationship first. And they had not seen each other for 10 years. Chris was in a completely different job position, and Jackie was in a different job position. But they were coming, Jackie was coming in town, and Chris was trying to set up for them to have a good time while he was in town. So Jackie had to protect somebody. A lot of us had that protector anointing. We intercede. We are spiritual security. And that's what Jackie was standing in that position for that day. He was standing in as security for the very man whose daughter had been kidnapped in the first movie. Sometimes the Lord will align you in situations and scenarios to be a benefit or asset to people that you may have blessed in previous seasons. And some of the people that he will set you up to be a benefit and an asset to are people that you particularly wouldn't want to be associated with. Remember Jonah?